Hello friends, my name is Bintou and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my Goodreads Choice Awards pick. We are in the final round and I've actually been voting in all of the rounds but hadn't filmed them. So this is the final round and I kind of wanted to get on camera my choices in some of the categories. I actually don't vote in all the categories because there are some categories I just haven't read books in that genre. But yeah, so let's go ahead and look and see some of my picks for these awards. There are some books that I'm like really rooting for in other categories where I don't really care all that much, but it's still fun to participate in this. So, okay. So let's see, I have the categories here and I guess I'll start with fiction. All right, so of these fiction books, let's see, I have read Transcending Kingdom. I've talked about that on my channel. And then I have read Such a Fun Age and I've read The Girl with the Louding Voice. So those are the only three that I can really speak to. Of those three, if you saw what I said about Such a Fun Age, then you know that I am not going to be picking that. It was probably one of the worst books that I read so far this year, in my opinion. I just didn't like it at all. So that brings us down to Transcending Kingdom and The Girl with the Louding Voice. I really liked both of those books. I think I rated them pretty highly. Transcending Kingdom I enjoyed but was probably a little bit disappointed with, simply because of the fact that I must have had high hopes for it and it doesn't do as well as Homecoming did, or Homegoing, my bad. So it wasn't as good as Homegoing, but I don't think it's fair to stack those two against each other. Let's see, I think I gave this one 4 stars, it looks like, and then The Girl with the Louding Voice, I gave that one also 4 stars. Yeah, they were pretty equivalent. If I have to pick, I think I'm going to go with The Girl with the Louding Voice. I feel like that one moved me more than Transcending Kingdom did. So I'm going to vote for Girl with the Louding Voice. So that is Best Fiction. And then we're going to go to the next category, which is Mystery and Thriller, which I have read at least one book in this category. Let's see. I read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. And that's it. That's the only book in this category that I read, actually. I guess I'm going to have to vote for Home Before Dark. I liked it enough. I mean, let's see. What did I give this? I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, I like this. It wasn't my favorite horror book or thriller book, if you will, but it was okay. And still one I read, so I guess vote for that. I think that's why these choice awards aren't very accurate, because it's probably just going to go to whatever was most popular because that's the stuff that people read. So next category is historical fiction, and I have read 2 books on this list, The Henna Artist and The Vanishing Half. These were both excellent books. Let's see, I gave The Vanishing Half 5 stars, it looks like, and then The Henna Artist, for some reason I didn't read this book, but I have read this book. So The Henna Artist, I gotta give it to The Henna Artist. I really enjoyed The Vanishing Half, but there's something about The Henna Artist. It is definitely one of the best books that I've read so far this year. And thinking back to the reason why I picked it up was just to knock out a bunch of prompts for the reading rush. But it turned out to be such a fantastic read. And I would highly recommend The Henna Artist to anyone that is looking for, I don't know, a book to read. Historical fiction isn't a genre that I usually read very much of, but what I'm discovering is that of all the historical fiction books that I have read this year, I've actually enjoyed them all. So maybe I should pick up more historical fiction because I've been enjoying them. So I'm going to give that one to The Henna Artist. And the next section is fantasy. I don't think there is anything on here that I've read. Rhythm of War is on here, but I'm only partway through the book. I don't even know why it's on here because it literally was released like 5 days ago as of the day I'm filming this. So I don't know. I'm not going to vote for anything here. I'm sure Rhythm of War will be great, but I can't say for certain because I haven't read it. So I'm going to pass on this category. Next we have romance, and I've read a couple books here. I've read Regretting You. I read the Happy Ever After playlist and One to Watch. You know what? I think I said in a video I read Take a Hint, Danny Brown, and I totally screwed that up. It was the Chloe Brown book that I read, not the Danny Brown book. So yeah, of the books on here, I've only read 3 of them. One to Watch I really enjoyed. I gave this 4 stars. It was very enjoyable. It mimics like The Bachelor, Bachelorette, which I'm currently watching The Bachelorette, and what a mess that is. But I will say I like the Happy Ever After playlist more than One to Watch. So I'm gonna knock that one out. Happy Ever After playlist, I think that was like a 5-star read for me. Regretting You was also really good. Let's see. I think I like the Happy Ever After playlist more. I think I'm going to vote for the Happy Ever After playlist. That one was a really cute book. I'm gonna skip over sci-fi because I don't read any science fiction. Let's go to horror and see what's there. So you got Mexican Gothic, which I did read, and I read If It Bleeds by Stephen King. So between the two of those, oh, I want to read this, The Year of the Witching. This is one I actually do want to read. Of the two books, If It Bleeds and Mexican Gothic, I think this is a hard one because I really enjoyed Mexican Gothic. And If It Bleeds is like it's short stories. There's like 4 different stories. And there's some that I really liked, but others that I didn't think were that great. So that's a hard one to choose from. I think I'll go with Mexican Gothic. Overall, I did like Mexican Gothic. So let's vote for that one. I'm going to skip the humor category. I know that there aren't any books on there that I read. I can't remember if there's anything in nonfiction. Oh, Hood Feminism. I just read that book. That's the only book on here that I've read. So I think I'm going to vote for that. I did enjoy Hood Feminism as well. I'm going to talk about it in my nonfiction November wrap up. It was a book that I'm glad that I read because I feel like she made a lot of really good points. It's not a book to read if you're looking for actionable stuff, but it's very informative. Next up, I don't think I read any memoir autobiographies from this year. So I think my next category is it science and technology? I think that's what I had written down. So science and technology, the only book that I read on this list is Breath. There was another book that was in the previous rounds that I had read that I really enjoyed, but I guess it didn't make it to the final round. So I'm going to vote for Breath because Breath was actually a really good book. This was another book that was really fascinating, talking about the different breathing practices and also like the perfect breath. It was really fascinating. I would recommend that one for sure. Next, I think the last category for me is debut novel. So let's take a look at debut novel. And in debut novel, okay, we've got several books here. So Henna Artist, such a fun age, one to watch, The Girl with the Louding Voice. I got to give it to the Henna Artist. Yeah, I'm going to give this one to the Henna Artist. I really enjoyed, the only one that I would maybe argue this with is The Girl with the Louding Voice because I think that was also really good. One to watch was fun. But of the books with like the writing, the book that really moved me, it's got to be the Henna Artist. So I'm going to vote for the Henna Artist on this one. I'm glad that it made it to the last round. I didn't think it would because I didn't think it was that popular. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, but it was a fantastic book. So basically, this whole video is an ode to how awesome the Henna Artist is. And I think that's it. I haven't read any YA fiction, YA fantasy, or sci-fi, and I don't read middle grade or picture books. Those aren't my genres. So I'm gonna stop there. Those are my picks. All right, guys, so thanks for voting with me. Those are all my picks for the final round for the 2020 Goodreads Choice Awards. I'm curious to see who ends up winning, but as I have said in the past, because I've read some of the top Goodreads Choice picks, I don't trust them all that much, but I wanted to at least put or give my input in for some of the books that I read that I thought were absolute gems of 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.